Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. We just spent 48 hours in Budapest and it was honestly kind of iconic. Between walking past Parliament like we were in a Wes Anderson film, cruising the Danube at sunset, and taste testing enough goulash that would make our ancestors proud. We packed a lot into 2 days. But here's the twist. This isn't just a travel vlog. We're breaking down exactly what we spent in Budapest. Every meal, every ride, every slightly impulsive purchase. So if you're planning a trip or just curious about how far your money can get you in Hungary, let's break it down. So the day kicked off with an unholy 2 a.m. start. We dragged ourselves out of bed, grabbed our bags and headed straight to Stansted. First stop, obviously Spoons, because what else do you do at 5 a.m. in a UK airport? Besides join every stag do for a bacon sandwich. I grabbed a bacon sandwich and Alex a sausage sandwich, and then we hit Boots for the essential: water, toothpaste and deodorant. Hey YouTube, welcome back to our vlog. Okay, so we've officially been home for 1 month since we finished full-time traveling, and we're going on another trip. We're going to Budapest. Next up, boarding time. We flew Ryanair because honestly sometimes a budget flight just hits different. No thrills, no legroom, but hey, it gets you there. I was so excited for this trip. Since getting back from our 10-month adventure around the world, all I wanted to do is get back on a plane. And this felt like the perfect little sneaky getaway. Our first official Budapest expense? A return ticket on the 100E airport bus. It goes straight from the airport into the city centre, and honestly it couldn't have been easier. Super affordable, runs frequently and drops you off right where you need to be. We'd been in Budapest for maybe 5 minutes before I was already on a mission. First and most important purchase of the trip? The Starbucks mug, obviously. So we headed straight in and secured both the Budapest and the Hungary mugs. Because priorities. Next stop, Cookie Beacon Brunch, one of those super trendy Instagram famous brunch spots in Budapest. We'd seen Bailey from Brooklyn and Bailey post about it, and honestly the cookies looked too good to skip. So naturally we grabbed a cookie and a drink, because that's a balanced brunch, right? Then, because we're nothing but committed to snack-based tourism, we wandered right across the street to a place called IDE Pizza Amri and grabbed a couple slices. No regrets. After loading up on sugar and carbs, as one does, we spent the next 40 minutes wandering around the city towards our hotel. We grabbed a bottle of water on the way and just took in the streets. Seriously, Budapest is so pretty. It was our first real time to look at the architecture and it did not disappoint. Now, our hotel was actually booked through booking.com, but it definitely gave more than Airbnb energy. It was inside this big apartment building with this kind of inner courtyard wraparound balconies, very European mystery maze vibes. Like most Airbnb style check-ins in Europe, it took like a few minutes to work out where the place actually was, but we got there eventually. Just gotten back to our hotel. Well, to our hotel. It was a bit of a mission to find, but I feel like it sometimes is when you book like Airbnbs and apartments. We did book this one on booking.com, but it's a bit of a nightmare to find. But room tour, walk in, this is the room, walk through here, and you've got the bathroom, which all looks good. So yeah, just turn the aircon on because it is hot in here. Okay, we spent a bit of time at the hotel just charging up our phones because they were dead. And now we are getting ready to head out for the evening. I quickly wanted to show you the Starbucks mugs that I got earlier. So I got the Budapest mug, which is so cute. I love these ones. These are the You Were Here mugs, which there are 3 types of Starbucks mugs: the You Were Here mugs, the Been There mugs, and the Discovery Series mugs. The You Are Here mugs are the Europe collection, so these are all the Europe ones I've got, which are really cute. So I got the big one for the city, because I usually do the big ones for the city in Europe, and then I got the espresso mug. That's that one. It's so cute. Anyway, we are headed out now. Bit sad that my mugs are over. My favourite part of going travelling is getting mugs. No, that's a lie. I love going travelling, but I do love getting my mugs. And I got them! Now they have to go in my box. So we're just gonna finish getting ready and head out for the evening. After a quick freshen up at the hotel, we headed back out to explore the evening by night. We made our way down to the Old Quarter, wandering along Basilica, one of Budapest's main pedestrian streets. It's super lively in the evening, with shops, restaurants, and classic European charm that just feels extra romantic when the sun starts to set. While we were out, we also kept an eye out for our usual travel collectibles. We always grab a magnet, a pin, a sticker, a postcard, and an iron-on patch for every place that we visit. It's our little tradition, and also the reason our fridge is running out of space. For our first dinner in Budapest, we knew we had to try some traditional Hungarian food. So we shared a langos and a bowl of goulash, and honestly, it did not disappoint. It was rich, comforting, and super flavorful, and I feel like trying local food is one of the best ways to experience a place. Also, shout out for the bottomless refills on our drinks, which we absolutely took advantage of. After dinner, we kept walking. We spotted the river in the distance just as the sun was starting to set, so we headed that way. On the way, we stumbled across this beautiful old church. We later found out that it is actually the oldest Catholic church in the whole of Budapest. We spent some time watching the water, taking in the city, and slowly making our way back to the hotel. It was our first day in Budapest, and we definitely made the most of it, mostly on foot since we hadn't figured out the metro yet. That was a day 2 problem. We grabbed a couple snacks for the hotel, called it a night, and got ready to do it all again the next day. We are back at the hotel now and ready for bed, so we'll catch you guys in the morning for our one and only full day in Budapest. Good night. Good morning. We are ready to go out today. A bit concerned about the temperature of the weather, but this is all I brought, so we're heading out now. What I will say though, about me, is that I think I sprained my ankle last night. I don't think it's fully sprained, but it is swollen this morning and it rather hurts, but we're not gonna let that stop us because I have sprained my ankle so many times, so let's just keep going. Day 2 in Budapest, our one and only full day in the city, so we are up and out early. We finally figured out the metro system, hopped on, and made our way towards Old Town, where you'll find spots like the St. Stephen's Valencia, and some of the prettiest streets in the city. But first, breakfast. We stopped off at this place called Best Bagels, which I'd seen all over TikTok, and honestly, it lived up to the hype. Super tasty, very trendy, and exactly what we needed. Alex went for a mozzarella, tomato, and pesto bagel, and I had a cream cheese, parma ham, and lettuce. No notes, it was so tasty. After breakfast, we walked over to St. Stephen's Valencia. You can actually go up to the top to view the city, by elevator or stairs, and it's not too expensive. We thought about doing it, but the weather was looking sketchy, so we gave it a miss this time. From there, we made our way back towards the river, and towards our first tram ride in Budapest, which was actually pretty exciting. We bought a 72-hour travel pass, which covers all public transport, trams, metros, buses, except the airport bus, so make sure you buy that separately. Also, heads up, there's no one scanning your tickets like in the UK, but don't get too comfortable. There are often staff checking tickets, especially before you go down the metro, so yes, you definitely still need one. Next up, one of the spots I was so excited about, the Hungarian Parliament. I'd seen it all over TikTok, and honestly, it's more stunning in person. I know in the UK we're pretty lucky with our Parliament building, but this one definitely holds its own. It's actually one of the largest Parliament buildings in the world and sits right on the edge of the Danube, so it basically looks good from every angle. We spent a good while just walking around and taking it all in. You can go inside, but you have to book ahead, and we naturally didn't. After that, we jumped back on the tram and headed towards St. Stephen's Valencia again for a little snack break. We shared a chimney cake, which was so tasty. We tried them in Prague last summer and thought they were from Czechia, but plot twist, they're originally Hungarian. After our chimney cake break, we hopped on the metro and headed towards the hotel. And honestly, shout out to Budapest public transport. It's super easy to use, super affordable, and people were generally really friendly when we needed directions. I feel like European cities are just winning when it comes to public transport, and Hungary definitely deserves a spot on that list. We were feeling a little worn out at this point, so we headed back to our hotel, took a slightly questionable lift back to our room, and called for a little break before the evening. We came back to the hotel for a little while because it looked like it was about to start pouring it down with rain, and I'm just not really here for that. So we came back, and there was in fact a huge thunderstorm, so we're very lucky. But we are gonna head out now. I've had a little fit change, and we are gonna go and walk around and see if we can find a snack, because we've not really stuck to meals at all today or this whole trip, which is pretty usual for us when we travel. So we're gonna go and find something to eat and then go and do our evening activity. And we actually have our first paid activity of the trip, so I will let you guys know the cost of that. We haven't paid for it yet, so I need to let you know when I know. But yeah, very exciting. We're going now. In the evening, we walked down to Shoes on the Danube, a really powerful memorial right by the river, and it honours the Jewish victims of World War II. It's a quiet, moving spot and definitely worth a visit. After that, we needed a little snack break, so we found our way to a place selling Greek food and grabbed a gyros, and they were so good. Messy, but worth it. And since we basically combined lunch and dinner into one, we decided dessert was definitely justified. We grabbed some ice cream, and they actually shaped it into a flower. It was super pretty and very TikTok worthy. Once again, I'm not pretending like I didn't copy Bailey from Brooklyn and Bailey on this one, and honestly, no regrets. To wrap up our day in Budapest, we finally crossed over into Buda for one of the great treats of the trip, a night cruise on the Danube. We'd seen so many people recommending it, so we had to make sure that we got there super early, and it's a good thing we did, because the boat was absolutely packed. We really wanted to see it at night, to see the Parliament building all lit up, and wow, it was so worth it. Generally one of the prettiest buildings we've ever seen, and it looks so much more magical from the water. The cruise didn't have a live guide or anything in English, but you could use an app to get facts along the way. We mostly enjoyed the views and read some of the info on the screen on board. It was such a peaceful way to end the day, just floating along the river, taking in the city one last time. The Danube actually flows through 10 different countries, which makes it one of the most iconic rivers in Europe, and seeing Budapest from it just felt really special. Okay, let's do a little souvenir rundown morning vlog. I am just about to head out. Let's do a little souvenir rundown before we leave, because we have like our set souvenirs that we get in every place, which is a pin, a patch, a sticker, a magnet, a postcard, and that's it. And the Starbucks mugs. So obviously I showed you the Starbucks mugs already. Then we have our postcard. Look how cute that is. I love it. The pin that we got, which is upside down. There we go, there's the pin. Thank you. Our sticker, our patch, and our magnet. We're trying to like go very different with our magnets. So this is a new one, which is pretty cool. And then we got everyone back home, little paprika patch that comes with like the cute little spoon. So we just got that for our parents and one for us. So yeah, it is our last day in Budapest today. Our flight flies back home this evening, I want to say. What time's our flight? 6. So we are going over to the Buda side today, and we're going to go to the castle district, which is quite a lot to do. So we need to get going. We jumped back on the metro and headed to the Buda side of the city for the final stretch of our trip. Not knowing what the food options would be like near the castle, we played it safe and grabbed a couple of croissants to fuel up. Classic pre-sightseeing move. On the way, we got one last view of the Parliament building from across the water, and honestly, still just as stunning the second time around. We hopped on a tram that took us over to the Budapest Castle Hill Funicular, and yes, we did ride it up, because obviously we needed the full main character moment. The funicular has been running since 1870. It's one of the oldest of its kind in the world. It climbs the hill in just 90 seconds, and while there is usually a long line, booking tickets online in advance definitely helped us skip most of it. The views going up are super cool and definitely worth it. After riding the funicular, we decided to head over to Fisherman's Bastion. You can take a bus from the top, but honestly it was like a 5-minute walk, so we just wandered over. We did see a lot of people hopping on the bus, but we were feeling ambitious, or maybe just a little stubborn. When we got there, I actually thought it was the castle at first, but nope, it's just Fisherman's Bastion, being casually stunning. It is totally free to walk around Fisherman's Bastion, however, if you want to explore it in more detail, you do have to buy a ticket. The building looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. It was built in the late 1800s as a sort of lookout terrace, and the name comes from the fishermen who defended this part of the city walls during the Middle Ages. We spent some time just walking around, taking it all in. Also, a quick moment to appreciate or roast our outfit choices. We were convinced it was going to be cold in Budapest, so we bought jackets, which turned out to be a massive mistake. So we spent the whole day walking around with our coats strapped to our backpacks, like awkward little travel turtles. But hey, we made it work. After that, we headed down the road to a local bar, because we realised we hadn't actually tried any Hungarian beer yet, which is like a Europe travel crime. We had a beer each and shared a pizza, which was surprisingly tasty. We were a bit nervous about the prices as this was a touristy area, but honestly, totally reasonable. Definitely recommend it if you're in the area. Plus, there was live Hungarian music playing while we ate, which made the whole experience even better. Such a good little vibe to end the day. We then hopped back on the funicular one last time and made our way down the hill, ready to head back and wrap up this trip. Fun little detail, the two carriages are actually connected by a cable, so one goes up and the other comes down, kind of like a big scenic seesaw. Super smooth, super cool. Before leaving, we made time for one last ice cream, because honestly it was so hot and we deserved it. We then grabbed the 100E bus back to the airport, hopped on our Ryanair flight, and just like that, Budapest was behind us. It was such a good trip. Short, sweet, packed with food, walking, and just enough chaos to make it memorable. Now that our trip to Budapest is over, it is time to do the budget roundup. So in total, we spent £562.10 on 2 days in Budapest. As you can see, this includes the flights, the hotels, and all of our souvenirs, as well as having a good experience trying a variety of different foods the city has to offer. If you would like to see more of our travels, check out some of our other videos and make sure to subscribe to see more in the future. Please also like and comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.